But I'm in a mood to yap. And since all of my friends are busy because they have lives, I'm gonna yap with y'all. So I'm gonna do a story time. I know I don't do story times. I used to just vlog, but whatever. So I'm gonna do a story time about the time that I moved to Dallas for my ex-boyfriend, who, now that I'm 32 and my friends with love has expanded, I realized that he wasn't really my boyfriend. While I eat some pho and summer rolls. Okay, so the year was 2016, and I had been dealing with this man who was a truck driver. Red flag already. I've been dealing with this truck driver for like 2016, 3 years at that point. I met him in Louisiana before I moved to San Antonio back in 2013. And he was a red flag off the jump. Like, he was a whore, and he just wanted to have sex with me off the jump. And I wouldn't do it because I thought he was ugly. But I figured, oh, he's a truck driver, so let's see what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I was working at McDonald's at the time, and we were closing the inside of the store because it was like, I used to get off at like midnight, I believe. I can't really remember. But I used to get off at midnight, and we were closing the store, and we had this club that was like 2 buildings away. So usually it was called Paparazzi. And usually when the club closed out, everybody from the club would come to McDonald's because it was right there. Well, this specific night, when the club closed down, all of a sudden we just had 2 men knocking at the drive-thru window. And we weren't allowed to serve people at the drive-thru window if you didn't have a car. So we were telling them at first, like, no, we can't serve y'all, da-da-da, woo-de-woo. So me and my homegirl was, you know, I think we were both managers at the time. Matter of fact, no, I had got demoted. I wasn't even a manager no more. She was a manager. And me and her, you know, we were talking to him outside the window, etc., etc. And his homeboy, I don't even remember that man's name. He was like, he wanted to holler at my homegirl. So my homegirl was like talking to him, and then the other dude, like at the time, I had like my real hair. It wasn't as long as this, but I used to wear it like this, like my natural hair, but it stopped like right here at my shoulders. It's not as long as this wig or whatever, but it used to stop like right here at my shoulders, but I used to get it flat iron and whatever, and it used to stop right at my shoulders. And I had hazelnut contacts in, you know what I'm saying? I was like 20. And he was like, you know, he wanted to holler at me or whatever. So I was like, okay. But in my head, I'm like, he's ugly. Like, I didn't think he was attractive at all. And so I was like, all right, whatever. So they was like, I was getting off, and he was like, give me a ride back to the truck stop. The truck stop literally was right there, like literally a walk. You could literally cross the parking lot and be at the truck stop. So I was like, all right. So I had my little 2001 Pontiac Grand Am, and at the time my little baby was struggling. I needed a fuel pump. So I literally used to have to start her up and like push the gas, make it vroom, vroom, so it could start up, because it wouldn't start up otherwise. So I was like, don't talk about my car or whatever. So we went back to the truck stop or whatever, and of course he tried to like get me to come in his truck and all of that, and I was like, no. I think I had class in the morning because I was going to school to be a medical assistant at the time. So I had class, and I was like, no thank you. So, you know, he would, like, I gave him my number or whatever, and like he would text me every now and then. But then, like, when he would come to Louisiana, like, we didn't talk like for real. Like, he came back to Louisiana like a few months later. Yeah, he came to Louisiana like a few months later, and I was working at Taco Bell this time, and he went to the TA truck stop across the street from Taco Bell, and he wanted me to like take a ride with him because I was working in Slidell, but I lived in New Orleans. And he was like, take a ride with me to do a drop off in New Orleans, blah blah. And I was like, okay. So I'm thinking like, okay, I had like a Taco Bell uniform on and everything when I got off. So I'm thinking like, okay, this better be my sriracha sauce, because I do not see, this is not sriracha sauce, this is peanut sauce. And I specifically asked for sriracha sauce. It's like every time you specifically ask for something, they do not provide it. That's aggravating. But anyway, so no, that's not sriracha sauce. So I took a ride with him to New Orleans, and like while we was riding, he had 2 Chainz blasting, and like in New Orleans we didn't listen to that. Like kind of in New Orleans, like in Louisiana in general, we kind of like listen to local music a lot. So for somebody to be playing 2 Chainz, like that was the type of stuff you had like Bourbon Street at the club or something like that. But like on an everyday people was listening to, what the fuck is this? Everyday people was listening to local shit. At the time it was Kevin Gates before he blew up. So I was like, what the fuck? He weird. Oh, by the way, he's from Dallas. I left that out. He was from Dallas. Whatever it is good. Oh, it's tofu. But anyway, so he was listening to 2 Chainz, so I was side-eyeing him the whole time, because I'm like, what the fuck? And he was just acting goofy. And I was like, he is so weird. And like, I was 20 at the time and he was 24. But like, I went with him to New Orleans, and like, you know, I'm thinking like, okay, we might chit chat or whatever, you know. But no, he didn't want to chit chat. He didn't want to do any of that. He just wanted to listen to his little 2 Chainz and just ride. So once he finished his little drop off, we went back to Slidell to the truck stop, and he parked his truck, and he gonna open up the back, and he was like, and he started like gesturing to the back, to the bed. I'm like, nigga, I don't even fucking know you. Like at this time, I was not into all of that. Like, I didn't know him. I wasn't trying to, and I didn't find him attractive, you know. So I was just like, nah, I'm good. So in my little head, I was like, I ain't really gonna fuck with him after this, because like, I'm not trying to have sex with him. So fast forward a couple of months later, I ended up moving to San Antonio. So when I moved to San Antonio, I kind of like hit him up, and I was like, oh yeah, I moved to San Antonio, whatever. So he started, when I moved to San Antonio, he started coming to my house or whatever. Like in 2014, he would come to my house. But like, he just wasn't a good person. He wasn't cool. He was cool, like he was funny, but he just, I don't know, he was an asshole to me. And I was young at the time. I think at this point I was like 21, and he was 25. And I was green, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had never experienced living outside of home before. I ain't never really dated nobody that was outside of my age group of being like, you know, in that same little 20, 21, you know, age group. So it was just like, you know, so when he would come, I would just be like, I ain't really feeling you. So fast forward, I ended up blocking him because he kept making promises that he couldn't keep. He told me he was going to buy me a couch, because I had just moved into an apartment, me and my cousin. He told me he was going to buy me a couch. And as he was telling me he was going to buy me a couch, I was like, this nigga is capping. And I told him, hold on. And as I put him on hold, I blocked him for a whole year. I blocked him for a whole year. Fast forward, I ended up getting a new phone. And at the time, this is before iCloud. So nothing was stored in your iCloud. So your blocked numbers wasn't stored. So I ended up being in Houston one random night, and this nigga called my phone after being blocked for a year. Calls my phone, and he was like, man, I've been trying to get in contact with you for a whole year. And I'm like, okay, like that's kind of weird, but whatever. So then he was like, I'm gonna be in San Antonio, woo-de-woo. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll see you then. I mean, I wasn't excited. I wasn't not excited. I mean, it was just like, okay. And so ended up, he came, spent the night at my house, him and his friend. And my friend, she stayed at my house that night. And, we was vibing. It was cool. We was chilling. We was playing games, drinking, whatever. By the end of his little stay at my house, he was like, I want you to be my girl. And I was like, okay. Very foolish. I know. But give me a break. I was only 22. So, I ended up being his girlfriend. But that same weekend that he came, I think in a few days later, I was leaving for California or something like that. And, he calls me up like a day before I'm about to leave for California, right? And he's like, oh, I'm sweating. Damn, honey. It's hot in this room. Anyway, he's like, I lost my card. I don't have access to my card. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, you could borrow my card. This is before Cash App and all. I was like, you can borrow my card, but pay me back. And I'm thinking like, okay, he a truck driver, he got money, so no biggie. You know what I'm saying? So I let this nigga borrow my card. And when I tell you, he was spending all my motherfucking money. Like all my, and I'm in California. Mind you, I had money in my savings account, so he didn't have access to that. But everything that's in my checking account, like, he's spending it. And I'm just like, whoa, like, what the fuck is happening? He's like, I'm gonna pay you back. It's not even like that. I blew a tire. I had to get fuel. Long story short, he never paid me back. Ever to this day. He ends up being down and out. That was in 2014. So he ended up being down and out for like years at this point. And so that whole year of 2014, it was a bunch of, I'm gonna pay you back. Never paid me back. I ended up stopped talking to him. Like, we'll be off and on that whole year because I was just like, you're a fucking liar. Whatever. But my dumb ass, being in San Antonio, like, there really isn't, people that look like us here. You know what I'm saying? And so it was just like, I would be off and on with him. You know what I'm saying? So then, fast forward, 2015, I started going to Dallas. Matter of fact, that was 2015. Because 2014, I didn't talk to him. So 2014, he was blocked. 2015, I started going to Dallas. In the midst of all his lies and shit like that. I would go to Dallas. I would take trips with him in his truck or whatever. And that was really the only time we were spending time together. And so, by the end of 2014, I stopped talking to him. 2015 rolled around. Once again, he back on my line. So, 2015, I talked to him, kind of. I think I blocked him again for a whole year. 2016 rolled around. He's still there. At this point, I'm like, okay. I think I'm like 23 at this point, and I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, I want a relationship, whatever. So, I give him a chance. And then he starts talking about, like, me moving to Dallas, etc., etc. So what happens is, basically, we talk about me moving to Dallas. I'm getting excited because my friend had already moved to Dallas. And I had been in Dallas a few times at this point, and I liked it. Me being me, I don't have no kids, I don't have no attachments. I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna go. So, when I get there, so I tell my job, at the time I was working at Allstate, I tell my job, I get in my 2 weeks notice. They only let me work like a couple of days after that. And so I ended up moving. I tell him the day that I'm moving, because this is supposed to be the day that he's on his way back. So, on my way there, this nigga's not answering the phone. Like, he's not answering the phone. And so I'm like, okay. I'm freaking out a little bit, but I'm like, okay. Maybe he's just asleep. because he used to do that a lot. He would get to a truck stop and he would go to sleep. So I'm like, maybe he just sleep. So I get to Dallas, and it's like a whole day I'm in Dallas, and I'm by my friend's house this whole time because she know what's going on and everything like that. And I'm like, this nigga not answering the phone. And so then he finally answers the phone, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm in West Texas and I'm on my way back, da da da, whoop whoop. So I'm like, okay, you know, but he just telling me this so I won't like catch on. So eventually days pass by. He finally makes it back to Dallas. When I pick him up, or when I make it to his house, because I had a job interview, mind you, all my stuff is in my car because I packed up myself. I know, dumb. Because I packed up myself, so everything that I own is in my little 2006 Hyundai Sonata. And I went to work at this job that I had got in Dallas with all my shit in my car for the first day. Okay, so my first day at work is his first day back at Dallas, right? So he tell me after I get off of work, come pick me up, da. So I meet him at a truck stop. I think when I get to the truck stop, he's not even at the truck stop. He told me to be at the truck stop. He wasn't even at the truck stop. He ended up being at his house that I was just at. Like, I literally was sitting at his house, blowing his phone up, because I'm like, nigga, like, what's going on? So I ended up going to his house, and I'm pissed. I'm fuming. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And he just gave me some excuse as usual. So then he was like, okay, well, I need to run some errands in my car. So we go run errands. I got an attitude all day because I'm like, shit don't seem right. Something seemed off. So we run errands, blah, blah. When he finished doing the last errand that he had to do, this man said, I think you should go back to San Antonio. I was like, what? I'm thinking to myself, like, I just quit my good ass job to move out here for you, and you telling me to go back to San Antonio? I just gave up my apartment for you, and you telling me to go back to San Antonio? Okay. So I didn't even get out the car. I just let him out the car, and I drove off. I drove to the nearest Walgreens and burst into motherfucking tears because I was distraught. That was like the first time anything in life that like big ever happened to me, and I was just like, I wasn't used to like going through anything like that. So I was just like freaking out. I called my friend in Louisiana, and I was just like, oh my God, he told me to go back to Louisiana. I mean, he told me to go back to San Antonio. Like, I don't know what to do, da da da. So then I got off the phone with her, and I called my friend that actually lived in Dallas, and I told her, like, I don't know what to do. Like, he just told me to go back to San Antonio. Like, I don't even have nowhere to go back. Even though I did, my auntie and everybody still stayed out here. And technically, I still had my apartment in San Antonio. But, and I was like, I don't have a job in San Antonio, da da da. Like, so I just went back to her house. I got a big ass bottle of Parmesan, and I went over to her house and I got pissy drunk. And I was just crying, and I was telling her like what was going on, and I was just distraught because I'm like, damn, like, you could have just let me stay where I was. Like, you didn't have to piece me up and have me move all the way out here just for you to tell me that I need to go back to San Antonio. You could have left me the fuck alone. But yet you disturbed my whole life, all my peace, for some bullshit. So fast forward like a week or two later, I ended up, one of the girls at my job, my new job, me and her ended up becoming cool. So she was telling me about this spot that she was moving into. I knew nothing about Dallas. Literally, everywhere that I had been in Dallas, this is where I had been. All my times going back and forth to Dallas, I was in Grand Prairie and Arlington. After that, when my friend moved, I was in Carrollton. My job was in Flowers Branch, or Farmers Branch. I had never really been to Dallas, for real, at this point. So she telling me oh yeah, they got a spot, it's in North Dallas. Bitch, I don't know nothing about Dallas. I don't know where the hood at. Oh, I just thought South Dallas was the hood. I don't know. I had no clue. So she was like, yeah, just come, So I went to this place. When you pull up, it looked good. It looked like, okay, this will do. And mind you, I lived in hood spots when I was a child. Like, it's not like I never lived in the hood before. But anyway, so I'm explaining to the people, like, what's going on, whatever. So the lady is like, you know, she real sympathetic. So I end up, I'm mad at everybody at this point. I don't know why. Because my friend, she was actually helping me, but I ended up blocking her ass too. She didn't do me nothing, but I think I was just so embarrassed that, matter of fact, that's not even what happened. What happened was he told me to come back. When I went to my friend's house, by that Monday, he told me to come back to the crib. And then he ended up leaving me. And when I was at his house, I was washing clothes. I went to go wash clothes, and he had a pair of purple lace panties in the washing machine. Yep, that's what happened. And so when I saw them panties, I literally went nuts. Like, I lost it. I called my mama. And at this point, like, me and my mama, we wasn't, like, extra close, but, like, I didn't even know what to do. I just called my mama, and I was telling her what's going on, but I was, like, enraged. So I'm around there, I cut all this, man. I cut every light on in the house. If you know anything about Dallas, they have multiple light companies, and since he was a truck driver, he had it to where he paid, like, $20, so it was, like, pay-per-use type of thing. So I cut all his lights on. I cut the air on, and I turned it to the lowest possible setting that it could go. And I think I opened up the refrigerator. Like, I was doing dumb shit. I was just pissed. But I was texting him. I was like, you really got panties in here? So you had me leave for a whole weekend because you had some other bitch here? And he talking about, that was my uncle. My uncle and it was here for some type of fucking game at the AT&T Center and da-da-da. And I'm like, you a fucking lie. So I left, blocked them. I ended up going by my mama best friend because she lived in Arlington. And I just was going to work, you know. But I was only at her house for like a week because, like I said, my friend, she, you know, showed me to some decent apartments or whatever. And so ended up, I get to these apartments. Mind you, all of my furniture is still in San Antonio. All I have is like my clothes and stuff. I ended up moving to these apartments. I ended up moving into the apartment, no furniture, no nothing. I went to Walmart and I bought a fucking air mattress, and like I had my own plates and cups and all of that because I bought all of that from San Antonio with me. But I still messed with him for like, that was in August. I think I messed with him until November, off and on. Like, we would still talk, but like I said, he was a truck driver, so he was never home. But like, it wasn't nothing serious. Like, I ended up going through his phone and finding out that he had like bitches in other cities. Like, he had a white girl named Courtney or Nicole or some shit. Another bitch that lived in Dallas. Another bitch that lived somewhere else. It was like bitches everywhere. And when I went through his phone, he started threatening me, talking about, I'm gonna get my sister to beat you up and all of this and blah blah. And I'm like, nigga, because you got caught. You're hilarious. So he was big mad. And then after that, I ended up meeting another man at my job. And then I stopped talking to him. And then I met another man. And that's another story for another time. But yeah, so that's how I ended up moving to Dallas for a man. Dumb times. But hey, it happened.